Gemini, it's your October 2022 soul story. If you have a sun rising or moon in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thanks so much for taking the time to tune in. So we're going to open up this month's reading for you with the energy of the Queen of Cups. Now, you may feel a little bit of a walking contradiction through this month of October. There's a complexity and a layeredness to what you're going to be experiencing, but you are right on time and you're right on track. And just as we mentioned last month for you, the universe isn't asking you to try harder but to trust more. This queen is in a very receptive energy. Her eyes are closed and she's really listening inwardly to understand what the next step is. Now, the positive news for you this month is Gemini, your ruling planet, is shifting direct on the 2nd, so that's definitely going to help improve your ability to feel like you can formulate a plan and see the way forward. It's also going to be joined by Pluto and Saturn, also shifting direct in October. We do balance that out with the fact that we're going to be coming into eclipse season with the new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio on the 25th, and also notably Mars going retrograde in your sign Gemini from the 30th. So you'll be feeling that impact all the way through the first part of October. And this Mars retrograde is going to have a big influence all the way through to January of next year. You know, it's addressing big lessons in where you place your energy, in your passion, in your motivation and ambition, in your sexual intimacy and pleasure, the drive and action that you have. And so in this first part of October, when you are feeling the call to act, we want you to take that inspired action, because there's something about addressing and dealing and putting things in place before you really get into that cycle in a bigger way, and it may have you slowing down a little bit. Now, there are messages and communication on their way to you, and the fact that Eight of Wands and the arrow is almost coming into you as the Queen of Cups here, even though you can't see it, you know it's on its way. And so there is something about this energy of October where it's like, if you try to observe everything with your physical eyes, it's not going to necessarily make sense. And you know, it's often challenging in the energy of Gemini, because this restlessness that you have, this searching, this constant seeking, is complex, because often when you arrive at what you thought you wanted or where you believed you were supposed to be, there's a feeling that you're never truly ever fully satiated or satisfied. And sometimes that can bring about an inner conflict within you. And it's hard to balance and wonder if you'll ever find the place you think you're supposed to be, or the kind of perfect life setup that's going to keep you in that constant state of balance. But I suppose the invitation and the reason the message comes through here is, not only is it about not settling and continuing on that vision quest, your divine energetic blueprint is really one of future focus. It's one of continuously looking for the new and being orientated towards the future. And so that restlessness serves as a really powerful catalyst for change in the entire collective. And so we want you to be at ease with the fact that sometimes in the journey that you walk, it can feel like things are not always as perfectly lined up as what you would want them to be. But that doesn't mean in any way, shape or form that your ability to experience the joy and to receive the things that you desire is in any way restricted or blocked from you. And certainly this month you're going to feel that sense of some of the restriction lifting and the green lights coming in and the energy start to get moving. I do have a sense though, Gemini, that you are going to be asking a little bit through the month of October, what is going on? What is going on? So some of it might not make complete sense to you. And remember, When we talk about patience, there's growth in the understanding that it's not about our ability to wait, but rather our attitude in the waiting. So that as people observe, they don't know whether you've already arrived or you are still perceiving that the time for the things that you want has not yet landed. Now, your King of Pentacles comes in with a kind of reassuring, steady hand, I feel. The decisions that have led you here are not a fixed destination, and so if you are still feeling a lack of security or stability, you are being reminded that you have the power to change any and all of it. And yet, I suppose there's a different question being asked here from the universe that says, how can you find the stability and sense of security within you in spite of the circumstances around you? Because that's like really the bigger lesson, I think, of 2022. It's like, how do we maintain balance while this circus and this flux and this roller coaster energy goes on around us? And as I speak this, I've got that Swedish House Mafia song, Don't You Worry Child, Heaven's Got a Plan for You, like blasting in my ear from one of my guides. So the plans that are afoot, the plans that are being put in place are helping you really to bring about a foundation that's going to be stronger. And so your foundations may be feeling like they're being tested this month, Tower energy coming through, but it's only to support something coming in that can be better placed to enable the growth that's on its way for you in the future. So there's something that I feel like wants to be recognized in terms of its significance and its importance, and therefore, you know, the space that's needed in your life. And so if that Tower energy is coming through, and remember, eclipse season often does bring about those swift changes, sudden revelations, trajectory shifts, that we have to have grace in that growth, you know, and that sometimes the struggling and the kind of messy middle part of the whole equation can feel like it's taking us off course, where actually it's actually bringing us exactly to where we're supposed to be. Okay, so we have a full moon coming in the sign of Aries on the 9th of the month, and something's heating up around that time for you. Remember, it's 11th house. There might be something going on within groups, communities, friendships, also about your hopes and dreams. Fire energy works well with you, Gemini, so something kind of blowing up or feeling quite excitable, or you even kind of getting a sense again, but you know, as we sort of prepare for this Mars retrograde, where this sort of passion needs to be harnessed and directed, magician, so that it can work for you as you maybe take a sort of time out, or as you have the opportunity to focus and direct yourself in different ways. Now, the magician says you have everything that you need. I love the energy of this card working for you, because it does, for me, always link in on a very mercurial basis. And with Mercury direct now, you are feeling a little bit more like yourself. There's more balance, and perhaps you have been a bit unsettled or upheavaled in some area of your life. There may be or have been some difficult arguments or conflict that's gone on within your pathway, and yet what we're seeing here is you being able to turn situations around, alchemize things to work for you, and to be able to kind of witness and accept the growth that's taken place, having grace in that journey. We also need you to remember that the creative expression of who you are, what you do, what you feel, like all of this is kind of part of a birthing process, if you like, that is messy. Yeah, like creation energy is messy. And so even as that tower comes in and might sort of feel like it's upheavaling something, I feel like there's gems and inspiration that come through from it that are going to really give you new ideas and a new sense of perspective about yourself. Now, something I also want to highlight to you is that this month we have a really beautiful sacred grand trine coming in, connected to the fact that we're in Libra season in your 5th house. We have Vesta, the asteroid goddess, going direct in Aquarius on the 5th, and we have Saturn in Aquarius direct on the 22nd. as they make this trine, it's really supportive for very strong love partnerships with a sense of longevity and a sense of you feeling kind of really contented from within and being able to nurture and nourish and sustain and give birth to new ideas creatively, emphasizing fertility. Like, all of this energy is really sweetly lit up and kind of gives that indication that for some of you, love relationships get some really beautiful energy through the month of October. You have to remember where you stand, and what I quite like about that Nine of Pentacles is that you look very unruffled there despite some of the chaos and the churn that might be going on around you at the moment. In fact, the kind of stabilizing influence of the archetypal energy of that King of Pentacles is very important for you. Remember what I said, the more you can focus and discern how you maintain and stabilize that sense of your own inner wealth and inner value, then what you're able to do is almost like create that very protective boundary around you that looks after you and reminds you of what you've already achieved and where you stand in your life, okay? The Nine of Pentacles feels quite receptive. She's already done the work here. The Queen of Cups is very receptive. The energy's already in motion here. Now, we do have the Magician that's definitely working to utilize what he already has around him. So it's kind of a balancing act this month of like doing a little bit, then stepping back and receiving, doing a little bit, stepping back and receiving, constantly course correcting and adjusting depending on where your natural energy levels are and what you're feeling into collectively, because astrologically the energy is all over the place. It moves us forward to slow us down. So it is a little bit of that dance, but if there's a sign that can cope with the kind of craziness, the velocity, the intensity, the swiftness, the fierceness, and also the incredible miracles that are sort of coming through in the adventure of all of that, it's you. Okay? So rest assured that you have some very stabilizing energies supporting where there might be more of an emotional deconstruction taking place, okay? That you have some really beautiful, sweet energies helping to draw increasing amounts of abundance around you. The projection of what you want and the reminder of who you are is very important to facilitate what you are ready to receive this month. Okay, I need you to remember that. So we're going to go ahead and pull your last 3 cards for the month of October, Gemini. And if you're new to the channel, we're going to cover these off in our extended reading. You can find the link for that in the description box underneath. We'll talk for another 20-25 minutes or so to give you deeper insights to your month ahead. I'm going to invite you now just to think about a specific question, Gemini, and we'll pull a couple of personal cards for you so we can explore that in more detail. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and clarify this main reading, okay? So just beginning with the Queen of Cups here, coming in with the energy of the Emperor and the Hanged Man. 7 of Wands. Energy of the Lovers coming in. That's your card. 6 of Pentacles. Beginnings and endings there. Okay, Tower energy with the Empress and the Magician. Interesting. One more there. A Fool. Okay, Moon coming in here. And the Two of Swords. Alright, let's just clarify these extended cards. All the decks that I use, Gemini, just a reminder, are also detailed in the comment section underneath. And a reminder, with the asteroid goddess energies Vesta and Juno both shifting direct this month, if you want to learn a little bit more about how they affect you personally within your own natal chart, you can check out my dedicated reports as well on the website. So we're just going to pull you some oracle cards now. This is Life Soul Vision Oracle, my new deck, which is now out for general release. You can find full preview of the cards over on my website. Let's have a look. Okay, you have the energy of the wishing tree. Beautiful. Give you that full message in the extended. Let's just have a look at Kyle Gray's angelic prayer cards now, Jen. Let's see what we have for you. Okay, you have Honor Your Feelings, Archangel Haniel. Beautiful. Gemini, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you're joining me for the extended, we will continue this conversation. Otherwise, you take care, and I will see you again next time.